Hello students and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing the level 1 proof ionic bonding. So as you're going through this, just remember this is to get a 3 in the class you have to do these top requirements, and then to get a 4 to earn an A you have to work on this bottom one. So here we go. So I can describe, how this is broken down is saying that you can describe the following characteristics of an ionic compound. So the types of atoms involved, and these are your options. Now, which ones are involved, right? Pick an example. Show me a type of bond that's present. Now, you can actually use a model to describe multiple points. Okay, like for example, modeling with Lewis dot structures. That could be where you build your model off of, and then you can show in your model how they're exchanged and point it out and talk about it with me. Draw some arrows to it, all right? And then talk about the types of atoms that are involved, right? And then determining bond type. Maybe you can write out the values and then show me how it is an ionic bond, right? Remember that scale between 0 to 0.4 to 2.0, right? Plus, we are working in this plus range. So show me that, okay? And then talk about the characteristics. So if you've picked an ionic compound for your example, well, talk about, is it brittle or is it malleable? And then go into what happens when you hit it with a hammer, okay? Does it shatter or does it bend? Talk about conductivity. Now, there is special parts to this where conductivity is present in ionic bonding, but you have to do something to it to make it happen. So I want you to research and look at your notes to figure out how do we make ionic bonds conductive. And then also research their melting point. You could research the melting point of the example you gave. So the entire thing can actually break off of drawing a Lewis structure. So pick an example. And please don't use NaCl. Don't use that example. I have seen that one so many times. I'd like to see you research and find something that's unique and different that you can don't know much about. And if you know things about ionic bonds, looking at your notes, you can come up with one, or you can go find one on the internet, all right, as your example, as your backbone, okay? Now, lastly, I can describe an understanding of the following objective to exceed in learning and earn an A. All right, so pick an example of an ionic bond that we have not talked about in class, so do some research, draw a model of the ionic bond using the Bohr model, and research how it is used in the world. So do kind of like a, not necessarily a before and after, but you could just draw out that Bohr model, right? Remember how there's the spheres, right? And talk about how they're attracted to each other. All right, you can use examples from the notes to build this, all right? And so you're going to use these circle models with the electrons to describe how they're exchanging and sharing electrons. And then do a little research and figure out where do we commonly find this compound, right? And you could even use this example from up above. You could pick one that you're not familiar with, and you could draw it out and then give me some information about it, okay? I just need you to include that Bohr model with it, okay? Now, here we have it drawing with Lewis dot structures. I don't have you with the Bohr model, but you can use the same example if it's not one that we've commonly talked about in class. All right, so please do some research, and you can actually pick one example and do all of this, all right? Okay? Until next time, thanks. If you have any questions, please talk to me.